back to the Bucket Thing, taking another round of rapid fire comic book reviews, and we've got three good ones today. So, first we have Nightwing, issue 88 by Tom Taylor. And this issue is, well, let's paint the picture of Nightwing as a whole, because we didn't really talk about the past couple issues, like at all. So, in a post Joker war environment, we have Dick Grayson, no longer Rick Grayson, thank heavens, is sort of trying to figure out what to do next with himself while he's in Bloodhaven. And one thing he wants to do is deal with the poverty in Bloodhaven, with the poor, the homeless, people who really need help. And Bloodhaven is, for those who don't know, Bloodhaven is Nightwing's protectorate. This is his place. This is his Gotham City. And one thing that separates Gotham City from Bloodhaven is Gotham City has a lot of criminally insane people. Bloodhaven just has rampant police corruption. So, yeah, it's effectively if the Long Halloween was its own thing, but like take it to like 1,000, or better yet, year one. Just less Italians, and more just overall a very diverse crime family. Namely, like Blockbuster, who is the current crime boss that has even infiltrated the office of, I believe, the mayor. The current mayor here is also Dick Grayson's half-sister. But anyway, after receiving a large inheritance from the late Alfred Pennyworth, Dick Grayson decides to set up the Alfred Pennyworth Foundation, which is intended to feed the homeless, create shelters, effectively help the poor of Bloodhaven. And by default, the powers that be don't want this. And this is an interesting story because Nightwing is not the target here. Nightwing is sort of the happy accident. Dick Grayson is man number one in Bloodhaven right now. And one thing this book has been good at is showing how connected and endeared Dick Grayson is to his friends and family. Like, there's one moment when they think Dick Grayson has been kidnapped, and Oracle calls in just about everybody she can. She's got the Titans, even Batman, who was currently broke and dealing with his own stuff, has stopped whatever he's doing to help Dick. And now, when he's about to give his big press conference, everyone is of the opinion that someone's going to take a shot at Dick Grayson. Again. Except this time it'll be because he's Dick Grayson, not because he's Batman's, sidekick. And what makes this story great, because it's not an overly complicated story. Dick Grayson goes for his press conference, and then a sniper tries to take a shot at him, and that's stopped by Starfire and Donna Troy, and we've got Beast Boy's bird flying around. Wally West comes in and gets Dick Grayson out of there. Mr. Terrific has made him a new costume, same color scheme, but it's lighter and more durable, so that way he can wear it underneath his civilian clothes. And it's just a really great moment to see how dedicated his friends are, his support group are. One thing that separates him from Batman has always been that he has healthier relationships with his friends, but one thing he does have in common with Bruce Wayne is that he's very determined to not get other people involved. Whether it's because he thinks they'll slow him down, or because he doesn't want to get them involved in his own problems, that's up to the reader to decide. I think it's a little bit of both. But overall, this was a really heartfelt and touching story. Not overly heartfelt and touching, it's just nice to remind us that Dick Grayson has friends. Granted, Tom Taylor spent the past couple of issues reminding us of that, but whatever. Next is a story that came out last year, but I just didn't take time to read it, Justice League Endless Winter. This story is what events in my mind used to be. Like, used to be, world ending, but they weren't universe defining. Like, the big thing that's going on in DC and Marvel now is big events have to totally redefine a character, redefine the universe they live in. Sometimes the world's just about to be taken over and we just gotta stop at this one time. So, this story is Stag Industries accidentally awakes an evil abomination underneath what used to be the Fortress of Solitude, since Superman moved the Fortress of Solitude to somewhere else. I don't remember where, I don't care where. And apparently some Kryptonian crystals were still there, and it helped awake the Frost King, which is this ancient ice wizard cryogenic thing. Cryokinesis. And he's back with a vengeance. And he'd been stopped before by a combination of Queen Hippolyta, Black Adam, Swamp Thing, and a Viking who was, undefeatable. It's like so undefeatable that he could not die unless he died a hero's death. Odin would not let him into Valhalla otherwise. And this story is really just about two things in my mind. Well, three if we're honest. Black Adam and Queen Hippolyta, because they'll play a role in Brian Michael Bendis' Justice League, for better or worse, and imparting the importance of family. So Black Adam has gotten next to no real coverage in the past ever. New 52 brought him in. He was killed off in New 52, if I'm not mistaken, in the back pages of Justice League. I don't have the strength to go back there. And he showed up again in Forever Evil, which was actually really fun. And then he showed up again as like the closest thing Sinestro has to a BFF in the book Sinestro by Cullen Bunn, which is a really good book. A really great story to help you, to remind you of Sinestro. I love that. So this story here sort of reminded you of who Black Adam is. He's an ass, but he's an ass that believes strongly in justice and in protecting people. And Queen Hippolyta, who has really had nothing to do in comics for as long as I can remember. I mean, they retconned her. First she was blonde in New 52, and then Greg Rucka came in and took over Wonder Woman, and they brought that wasn't the real Hippolyta, that was a fake Themyscira, and the real Hippolyta just has black hair, and she still boned Zeus, if I'm not mistaken. No reason to undo that, it's already been done. But again, she and Black Adam will be on Brian Michael Bendis' Justice League, so that was a great way to sort of reintroduce them to new audiences. Fun story. There's a big concept of family. Barry Allen asking different superheroes how they balance the superhero life with family life. Also a job. I always forget these people have jobs. Except Arthur. Aquaman has no job. And Jon Stewart is his job. But it's a really fun story. And even the concept of family plays into the character of the Frost King. Even Stag Industries has its own little family story. If you're looking for a simple, straightforward event that you just like to read in its entirety and realize, hey, this isn't going to kill us all. I don't have to worry about them rebooting because of this. Then Endless Winter might be the story for you. Then finally we have Batman the Knight, written by Chip Zdarsky. Zdarsky, who's been getting a lot more traction lately ever since, I think, his Daredevil run, which is still going on, and Devil's Reign, which is but whatever. So this story is this is how Bruce Wayne becomes Batman's story. But it's presented in a different way than, say, Year One. And even, say, Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy. This feels a bit more like a much more sophisticated version of Gotham. Because there's less setting up everything and more, this is Bruce Wayne dealing with the death of his parents. And guess what? He's not handling it well. He doesn't know how to process his anger properly. He doesn't quite know how to formulate what he wants to do. All he really wants to do is punish bad people. That's kind of it. Like, you could try to clean up any way you want, but he essentially torments a bully to the point where his parents have to pull him out of school. And even his friends call him out like, dude, you've gone a bit too far here. Like, you're kind of messed up. Easy. And of course, his therapist is Hugo Strange. People often ask, why doesn't Bruce get therapy? Bruce gets therapy. It's just that so many therapists and people in the medical profession are also villains. So what's he supposed to do? He's working with what they give him. And his sort of self-destructive nature happens, I want to say, as early as middle school. And even when he's talking about where he's going to go study, he's still not exactly that focused on. It's like, I'm a Wayne, I can get anywhere I want. And he doesn't show up for his exams. Like, no, I don't need them to tell me I've learned all this. Alright, I'll study what I want to study, when I want to study it. And yeah, that's a rich kid problem. That's a rich kid problem. And he even goes into like an underground fight club. And the events of that sort of, I think, hammer home from Alfred exactly what's happened. Like, look, I've tried, I love you, kid, but you've become such a spoiled, entitled rich kid. Alright? The people at that underground fight club, they were fighting to feed. They were people who had nowhere else to go. Who were really, most of those people were fighting to pay off their bills, hoping that their medical bills wouldn't ruin that, trying to put food on the table, and you're just some rich kid who wanted to what? Experience a little bit, get scared a little, get roughed up a little. You've been given a lot of great privileges and advantages, and it's time you started being worthy of them. And it's a great scene and a great line, and I think it sort of hammers home what Alfred's trying to do. Alfred doesn't know what Bruce can be. Hugo Strange doesn't know what Bruce can be. Like, none of them know, but they know that he's on a very dangerous path, and he needs to find a way to find some sort of purpose or meaning to it. Some way to properly channel his anger into something productive. It's going to be in beating people up dressed as a bat, but whatever. The question is, how do we get there? Also, a lot of scenes are showing you that Bruce still hasn't gotten over the obviously traumatic event of watching his parents get gunned down in front of him for what Alfred says was $150 and a string of pearls. So yeah, that was the 3 books I read, and honestly, good times, good times. I'd like Nightwing to pick up the pace a little. Like, we're really just seeing Nightwing talk to people, which is fine. But, you know, I'd like to see the story develop more. What Chip Zdarsky will do with Batman, I think he'll do better than he did in Justice League Last Ride, which had a great setup but sort of fell off the map. I think this one's going to be, 10 issues? 10 or 12 issues, so we'll see. And Endless Winter was fun. I'm glad it's not endless, unlike what seems to be this winter. So anyway, with that in mind, if you are new to the Bucket Think Tank, feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Check some other videos, and I will catch you all later. This is the Bucket Think Tank signing off. Thanks for watching, and as always, may your fandom serve you well.